Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of The Spiritual Skeptic. Normally, I try not to reference current events in my podcast because they quickly become outdated. But before diving into this episode, I wanted to quickly add this. In 1997, this is not the current event part, wise guy, give me a second, Bill Clinton asked for a voluntary moratorium on the cloning of human beings until the ethical implications could be further understood. Think about that for a second. The former president of the United States publicly asked for the scientific community to pump the brakes on human cloning almost 30 years ago. It sounds like something out of The Twilight Zone or Black Mirror. According to Cabamer, I heard it's actually pronounced Cabamer, but I'm just going to roll with Cabamer because I can't help it. So according to Cabamer of the Family of Taygeta, that moratorium never happened, and today we are surrounded by human clones, billions of them, manufactured and maintained by the elite. I already discussed this in part 1, but we're allegedly seeing clones in concerts, news segments, press conferences, movies, and television shows. Every single day we are seeing clones in front of us without even realizing it. It's an insane concept, and I struggled to even record these past 2 episodes because it's truly so difficult to believe. And then something pretty fucking wild happened. Donald Trump retweeted or retruthed, quote, "There is no Joe Biden, executed in 2020. Clones, doubles, and robotic engineered soulless, mindless entities are what you see. Democrats don't know the difference." The president of the United fucking States posted that statement. Now, I've always wrestled with skepticism, but that post from Trump was one of the more insane pieces of disclosure I've come across. Of course, he could have been fucking around. He could have been lying. He could have liked the idea of Biden being thought of as a soulless robot, but he's still the president of the United States. Even if you hate Trump, I'm sorry, he's not an idiot. He knows the power of his words and his social platforms, and of all things to repost, that, my friends, was a fucking choice. And in my eyes, it was only further validation that Cabamer and the Family of Taygeta are truly the real deal, because Cobb has been talking about this shit for years. I would know, I've read it all. So with that, let us dive into human cloning part 2, deep diving into the Family of Taygeta and evaluating the paid services they offer known as soul reveals. If you haven't listened to part 1 of this episode, I'd strongly advise you do so, partially because I want more streams, but mainly because most of this won't make sense. So, the best place to start as I dove into this platypus hole, that's right bitches, the bit is never going away, was performing a little recon on Cabamer. Considering I source, double check, and reference basically all of my ET related information from the Family of Taygeta, it might have made sense to do this recon before working on a full season of this podcast, but cut it out with your goddamn negativity. I don't need it. I'm an idea man. I thrive on enthusiasm. Don't take the wind out of my sails. I need you. That was a Wedding Crashers reference, because what other movie would a straight white millennial male quote? God, we are so predictable.
Wow.
Regardless, the first place I started in my recon was on Cobb's Twitter. Cobb actually has a ton of followers on Twitter, but he only follows a fraction back. Goals, am I right? In particular, he seems to follow a lot of people that have similar bios to him, and his bio reads, "Sharing messages telepathically received by my mother, Judith, from Pleiadian soul family of 7D Taygeta to prepare Earth for the shift. Hashtag Galactic Federation of Light." Super casual stuff. Regarding his followers, I've kept usernames private, but one dude's bio reads, "Pleiadian starseed from Taygeta sharing info about hashtag the Galactic Federation." And another one reads, "Incarnated Pleiadian from Taygeta, here for the shift to 5D Earth." As mentioned in part 1 of this episode, this refers to humanity's theoretical shift to a new Earth. And there's plenty more, and all of them not only have unusual names that follow Cobb, but they religiously respond to and retweet everything he says. Goals again, am I right? Naturally, I followed lots of these folks on Twitter, and I messaged a few of them as well. One user that seems quite close to Cobb was particularly responsive, and I'm obviously going to share our conversations with you now. Quick quote, I cleaned them up a little bit just for brevity, but I started simple and said, Hi, I found your account through Cobb. Learned a lot from you both, especially lately with clones. Thank you. Are there any books, podcasts, or documentaries you'd recommend? What an awkward fucking hello, by the way. What is wrong with me? Either way, she said, Hi there, yes, I've learned a lot with Cobb too. I'm grateful for him and Judith. If you want to learn about rapid human cloning, the movie Replicas with Keanu Reeves shows how they update clones through their eyes. Keanu Reeves, that goddamn hero. This technology takes 5 months to make a new human. His website has real disclosure. Only believe Cobb's website. There are so many fake mediums and fake insiders trying to get attention and money from people. No time for those fake ass hoes. Am I right? I thanked her because, of course, I'm a polite person, and then basically was like, So, are you a human? Are you an alien? What the hell's going on here? She said, There are no ETs on social media. Should have probably figured that one out, Seth. But humans that have direct contact with him, like Judith. But my soul, yes, I'm a Pleiadian and friends with Judith and Cobb. As the conversation continued, it definitely started going further down the old Tuco hole. A Tuco, of course, is a marsupial native to South America. I'm so committed to this idiotic bit that I had to ask ChatGPT for random animals that could dig holes. And that's how you end up talking about a fucking Tuco in your podcast, because the bit doesn't work. It doesn't work, Seth. That was a subtle reference to Impractical Jokers. Alas, she continued, quote, My higher self, my soul, has always been a Pleiadian, and she wants to incarnate on Earth to experience and probably help during my many lifetimes. My soul has incarnated to Earth 369 times, but this is the last incarnation. We are all experiencing our last incarnation because this is the end of 3D Earth. Again, this refers to the shift. The final thing I asked was how she knew she was a Pleiadian starseed, and she said, Judith, Cobb's mother, did my soul reveal. A soul reveal? I'd never been so excited to research something in my life. I had been stalking the family of Taygeta for a long time, and I never seen these soul reveals. These days, it lives on Cobhammer's Linktree, which you can access on his Twitter. And while my spiritual skeptic side certainly flares when a paid reference is involved, let alone one that apparently unveils the origin of my soul, I was still fully prepared to dive down this aardvark hole. For $44, Judith has the ability to reveal your soul origin or the first life you ever lived. Remember, Judith is Cobhammer's mom. If you want an $11 discount, you can subscribe to their Buy Me a Coffee for $4 a month, which of course I did immediately before buying a reveal. After a few days, I received the following, and I'd like to say before I read this that I too found all of this to be completely insane. But I was too far down the spadefoot toad hole to turn around. Quote, Beloved friend, your sacred origin is Maya of the Pleiades. Your first name of soul is Ipik Iso Umikitek. You are a male with the energy of peace and unity. Your hair is long and black with streaks of blue. Your mate is named Oblaso Peheresh. My wife is still adjusting to her new name. His hair is long and golden brown. My wife is also adjusting to her new pronouns. You are ambassadors for peace, and you serve the light with speaking engagements on Stars of Duality. Your home is created in 4 levels in an octagon shape. A large veranda has golden pottery and white lounging chairs. A music room with crystal instruments is enjoyed by your 19 children. Dear fucking God, 19 children? I can hardly handle babysitting my nephew. The family room has yellow sofas and chairs with white tables. A dining area has a long crystal table where meals are prepared by telepathy in a crystal kitchen. Ah, yes, of course, this makes sense. Preparing food with my mind. Stairs lead to soft green grass and red roses. Fairies enter silver trees and make toys. Lavender dragons fly through the area with white horses with wings. Now I'm just tripping balls, man. You fly in body form to the top of blue mountains and meditate here to commune with the presence of God. You are a beautiful soul. Well, this was not only a I've made a huge mistake moment, but also a what in the fuck moment. From the I've made a huge mistake perspective, this information was provided by the psychic who allegedly channels all of the extraterrestrial information I reference. All the theories, all the shovel-nosed snake holes, all of it come directly from the human being that spit out that insanity I just read, which is very likely the result of a creative ChatGPT prompt. From the what in the fuck perspective, she said I was from the Pleiades, so I couldn't stop thinking if that meant I was a starseed. But she also totally said my mate was a man, so I also couldn't help but think, am I a gay alien? Maybe my dreams were coming true. I never said that. Naturally, I wasn't done there. Yes, my friends, I'd only just begun to dig down the velvet ant hole. As you see, there is a soul reading 2 available for purchase and an even longer correspondence called a consultation. All of these are conducted exclusively over email, which is kind of a bummer, but I'd already gone this far. So you better believe I was continuing down the trapdoor spider hole. It's like a tick at this point. I can't stop naming animals that dig holes. Anyway, I ended up skipping to the personal consultation, and my first email to Judith read, "Hello, Judith. I hope you are well. Thank you for your time and all that you do. I'm such a kiss of, it's absurd. I'm not sure if I skipped a step as I was going to do the second soul reading, but I thought the opportunity to go in depth was too good to pass up. Jesus, I'm so corny, just stab me. It's hard to even reread this. In my first soul reading, you mentioned that my origin is Maya of the Pleiades. I've read other starseeds often say, for example, that they look to the skies and feel that they almost don't belong or feel homesick in a way. Personally, I've never felt like my home was somewhere else, and I've never had, to my knowledge, any ET contact, though I am extremely drawn to the information. Either way, I guess my question is simply, does this mean I am a Pleiadian starseed? Another question I want to inquire about was my creative endeavors, and if you had any advice. I've done a lot of humor writing, some stand-up comedy, and recently I've started working on a podcast. Much of this is inspired by your family. Yes, I'm referring to this podcast. Keep up, Banana Head. There's a part of me that thinks if I'm a starseed, I'm meant to help people for the shift. The podcast comes to mind for that and my writing, just speaking what I feel are truths in relatable, even funny ways, and helping people awaken in a sense."
Fuck a doodle do. Listen to him. Gonna help me awaken with a little alien podcast, are ya? Get over yourself, mate. Come on.
Will you go away already? Jesus, sorry. Back to my message. I also recently saw someone for a light language healing session, and she suggested I look into metaphysical classes. I do want to develop my spirituality more and even my potential skills, so I was curious about your thoughts on perhaps a mediumship or channeling class. Lastly, my wife and I went to Peru and saw a shaman. The shaman said my skin condition was karma from a past life. Do you have any additional insight you could provide on that? Would it be worth me potentially looking into a past life regression? Before we continue with her response, quick side note that I have a rare skin condition called Klippel-Trenaunay syndrome, or KTS. Look it up if you care, it's totally alien looking, but it's not the focus here. The focus is her response, which was, "Precious Seth." This was the first time anyone had ever called me Precious Seth. And I'll be honest, it was delightful. I am honored to hear from you. Thank you for your kind words. You are indeed a starseed. All that is meant by this term is that your origin, or first life of creation, is from the higher realms. I'm from the higher realms. It's not a big deal. Maya is a star in the Pleiades. It is true that most starseeds struggle to feel part of life in 3D Earth. Think of this as a school where you repeat themes, learn lessons, and expand in consciousness. There is no karma as you might hear from others. There is a balancing of energy as the soul chooses to incarnate over and over again. You have been male and female as well as being very rich and very poor. Many times there are friends and family members from your star that will incarnate with you to mirror to one another many aspects for learning. Definitely my sister. She's an insanely annoying vegan. This might sound strange to you, but throughout your life you've encountered many Pleiadians. This would be to comfort you, to give you information, or to warn you of danger. As messengers of light, they do not come into form as they look in origin. They can choose to do this, but most of the time it is in disguise. This really drove me nuts, by the way. I still think about it even as I record this. Who? Perhaps the dude at the bodega that always hooks me up with a free hash brown on my egg and cheese? Maybe my homie at the UPS store that never makes me pay for packing tape, which is shockingly expensive. Or maybe my best friend Hank. Just kidding. I fucking hate Hank.
Yeah, Hank's a proper fucking twat, ain't he?
Continuing, try to read information on the website and listen to videos on Family of Taygeta YouTube. This will assist you so much in understanding. I do not simply give my opinion on information. I have experienced all that I speak about and teach. I do not ever read or use another's information. I do know when things are true or untrue. You are the soul in form. What this means is that your soul has created this life for you now. As the personality of Seth aligns with the soul, you will have great peace and abilities that are expressions of the soul. Writing, humor, art, dancing, and so on are creative expressions that will amplify when your intention is to help or serve others. This is what you are feeling. Well done. I didn't inexplicably cry while reading this part. Don't be ridiculous. There is no teacher that does light language healing. Please do not fall for this. Whoops. I speak the language of Pleiadians and I am completely telepathic. We share many phrases, names, and words with meanings continually. I speak only truth to you. I do not like to see anyone taken advantage of by those you speak about. I also never want to offend anyone. I am clairvoyant and I have many other gifts. There is no such thing as medium class. One would have to already be clairvoyant. As far as channeling, this is a method that has been real with some, but the majority is fake. People are just taking and recycling information. A legit channeler actually is Daryl Anka, who I do briefly discuss in my Grays episode. Continuing, each life story is new. Remember that the soul is perfect and unharmed. You are an infinite soul of light. I have had shamans come to me for help. There is no past life punishment for anyone. If a person has been horrific in one life, the soul might choose to live as a wonderful person in the next for the experience only and the balancing of energy. Nope, not me. I've always been wonderful. But it is an interesting concept. Someone that was a total dick in one life could be an angel in the next. Lastly, there is so much misinformation out there. My purpose and Cobb's purpose is to assist with the truth that we know firsthand. I send you love, and I hope I can share with you and assist you on your journey. I love you so. Judith. I don't know, man. This email was a wild one. A lot more grounded than having 19 children with dragons flying in my backyard. But in all seriousness, who are these random Pleiadians I've been interacting with? I will mention two brief stories in which I thought maybe it could have been it. One was many years ago. I was living in the Bronx, way up north in New York City. I was on the train. It was late at night, and there was this guy just staring at me. He almost looked like he just hated me for no reason. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he said, "Man, I should fuck you up." Out of nowhere, just looking at me, and it kind of seemed like he was about to attack me. Right as this happened, out of nowhere, this man just gets up and apprehends this individual. Kind of pushes him away, tells him to leave me alone, and then disappears. We did not interact, not look at each other. I probably could not even identify him in a police lineup. And mysteriously, this man just left me alone. Always has stuck in my head as this random sort of hero moment that was very kind, but truly made no sense to me. The other one is, many years ago, I was actually in an airport in Italy. I was in an airport in Italy, and I was wearing an AC Milan hat. And there were some tourists there that I guess were soccer fans, and they happened to not be a fan of AC Milan. They kind of came up to me, and they were telling me to take my hat off. Take that off, take that shit off. They didn't like me wearing a hat for another team. Out of nowhere, this older man, very well dressed, kind of comes up. He grabs my hat out of their hands. He gives it to me and he kind of scolds them. And I'm just sort of sitting there watching, and then he disappeared. Just disappeared. That was sort of a theme for both of these experiences, is that both of the people that helped me were there and gone in a flash, seemingly out of nowhere and gone just as quickly. And also this sort of remarkable de-escalation of the situation. A lot of the times, if someone else confronts someone that's escalating a situation, it can only make things worse, or just, get the sort of quote unquote escalator, if you will, more angry, more annoyed. But both times there was just this sudden calmness that came over the situation. It's more likely than not that you were just really nice people that helped me out. But that was the only thing that came across my head. Maybe those could be some random Pleiadians. Who knows? Now, the last thing I'll share is the second soul reveal I did with Judith, or what's called Soul 2 order. Remember, I went out of order. I did the first soul reveal, did the consultation, then I went back to Soul 2. There was more from my consultation, actually, but I got really lost asking about practitioners I'd previously seen, mediums or channelers, and I desperately wanted to know when talking to Judith, like, are these people legit or are they fake? Unfortunately, I actually was duped by a few people. But alas, here's my Soul 2 reading. Beloved Seth, your spirit guide is Eki Tessa. He is a close friend from Maya. He speaks to you with telepathy. This will seem like your own thoughts. It is silent. To open communication, ask a simple question and wait for the answer. Become still and quiet. Once communication is open, there will be full conversations and you will ask everything and it will be answered. This will change your life. I'll admit, I haven't been successful with this yet, but I do have a steady voice in my head often begging me to cancel plans before it's too late. So, maybe I'm progressing. Continuing. Precious Seth. I miss being called beloved and precious. You have incarnated 582 times to Earth. Each life was very different and chosen by your soul to learn aspects in depth while expanding in consciousness. Another helpful way to learn telepathy is by writing your feelings and emotions. Let it flow and do not stop to read it. When you feel that it is enough, then you can read. When you write, you bypass the conscious mind as you connect to the subconscious mind, which allows telepathy. You will discover over time that profound information is coming through. The longer you write, the more clear this becomes. It allows you to hear your guide, and then other telepathy becomes easier. I love you so. Judith. 582 times. Ain't that fucking something? Perhaps this is the last one, my friends. That's all for today, but on the next episode and the season finale, we'll talk about reincarnation, the Mandela effect, and of course, the shift to a new Earth. Thanks for joining me down this pangolin hole. You're still here. My God. Guess I'm not the only crazy one after all. Until next time, this is Seth Borkowski signing off. Stay weird, you beautiful bastards.